Okay. Yes. 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 Okay, thank you, Dimash. Let's begin with the presentation. So today we are going to build our first app with Kotlin. So let's start. Same prerequisites. You have to be familiar with setting up, configuring, using applications such as word processor or spreadsheet, for using the Android Studio. Good internet connection, and optional things are Android device and USB cable. Okay. Next, so what you will learn today is what are user interface elements such as views and view groups that are used in building the application, how to set a background image in an app, then how to display text in form of a text view in an app, and how to actually set up multiple text views in a layout. Then you will see how to set attributes such as the text in the text view, the font of the text, and the margins around the text. Okay. Now, this is the today's schedule, divided in 10 minutes, 30 minutes, 40, and 10. So that's moving on. Basic overview. So there's a course for the Android Studio Gems. It's called the Android Basics in Kotlin course. You can check it out from the link I have already given in previous of my sessions. Today we are going to cover half of the unit 1, which is the Kotlin Basics of Android. You can also take a quiz at the end of every session. So I will be posting the quizzes on the social media platform. You can also earn badges by completing each and every how you can complete and earn badges through the platform. Okay, let's move on to section 1 of the basics of Android Studio. Okay. So let's see a quick video about what is Android Studio.
इसके बाद IER और सेकंड फुल
Is the audio available? Okay, wait a second.
No, the audio isn't audible right now.
Okay. Yeah.
In this course, we'll be using Android Studio on our computer to help us create our Android apps. Android Studio is what's known as an IDE, or Integrated Development Environment.
If this is your first time working with an IDE, you can think of it as being like a workshop with a lot of tools. These tools help you write your code and lay out how your app will look on the screen. It shows you a real-time preview of what your design will look like as you create each screen.
And similar to how Google Docs checks your spelling, Android Studio checks for errors in your code as you type. It also gives you suggestions to help you code faster.
And of course, as you create your app, you'll want to see it in action. Android Studio builds and runs your app, either on an actual Android device or on something called an emulator, a tool that allows your computer to simulate an Android device.
Android Studio is an IDE because it integrates multiple developer tools together, doing a lot of the heavy lifting for us. Without it, the development process would be much longer and it would be easier to make all sorts of mistakes.
As you create apps in this course, you'll learn how to use Android Studio and get plenty of practice with it. If you're curious, take a look at the linked Android Studio documentation.
Let's go write apps!
Okay, so this was a quick introduction to Android Studio. Now, let's go to another slide. But before that, we will look at the Android Studio itself. So let's go to our first video. Okay, so first we will go to the Android Studio and by opening it, we will see what is Android Studio and how it functions. So when you will first open the Android Studio, the first page that you will be greeted with is this. So here you can create a new project, open an existing project, and you can profile or debug. We will see this feature in upcoming sessions. And you can also import a project, which is very useful feature. And from here itself, you can configure it with various settings and plugins. Okay, so let's create a new project and see what it does. So now you will be presented with these activities. You can select these activities as you like for your app. Here is Wear OS, Android TV, Automotive, Android Things. So what you want to do is select the empty activity. So we will start from scratch. Then we'll be clicking next. And then we have to define the name of our application. Okay. So let's say we define the name of our application. Let's say basic app. Okay. So the package name, as you can see, is already defined, com.example.basic app. So if you have an website that is related with the app, you can write the com here and then your website name and then your app name. So like this, you can define your package name. You can select the save location. Here my save location is on my desktop. So if we can change this, let's say desktop and then sample Android projects. Okay, it will store in the sample Android projects. Now here is the language option. So it's of course default Kotlin. Then you have to select the minimum SDK. Now what is minimum SDK? Minimum SDK means that what is the minimum version of the Android that your app can run on. So here is already selected API 23 Android 6.0 Marshmallow. So here you can see all the list of Androids that are ever released from 4.1, 4.2, 4.3 to the latest 11 version of Android, the API 30. So it's actually, you can here see help me choose. Here you can see all the list and all the details that you will be using it throughout your app development. So here you can see all the list of the Android versions that you can select. You can see the API levels, you can see the Android platform levels. My advice is to select the Android Marshmallow and keep it default so it can run on 84.9% of the devices, and it can support the latest and greatest features the Android can provide. Keep it unchecked, this option. Use legacy Android or support libraries. And here is a warning option, project location should not contain white space. Oh, okay. So it's a warning, we can ignore it actually. And then click finish. Now Android Studio will automatically build your project and create a basic layout of the project so that you can start from scratch. First, it will scan all the files, then build the Gradle. The Gradle is a system that Android Studio uses to build the app structure. Okay, so it's building now. The two files already opened here, as you can see, is the first one is the Kotlin file, the main activity.kt. Here, this is the starting point of your application. This Kotlin file is the starting point of your application, and it's the first one that is called when you will open your app. Here you can see the class main activity, which implements the class app compact activity, which is provided by this Android X library. Okay. Then we have to override some functions of the app compact activity that we can use in our app. So we have to override the function. First, we have to override the function on create. This is the main function. This is called when your app is first opened. Okay. And here is a parameter of a function, saved instance state. It's a default parameter. It doesn't have to be, provided exclusively. Then super.on create, and then set content view. Set content view is it is in the Android language we call it inflating the layout. Inflating the layout means when set content view is created, the actual view of your application that the user sees is brought up into the stack that is created when the app opens, and then your actual app is shown. In set content view, there is a parameter called r.layout.activity_main. So what is activity main? As you can see here, another file is open, activity main.xml. So here is where the fun begins. Activity main file is the file where you can actually design your app. Okay, so as you can see here, if I enlarge this, as you can see here, there are three sections: code, split, and design. Okay, so first we will get to the code and then we will get to the design. So in the code, you can see the actual XML program that is used to design the Android layout of your app. You can see the XML version here, the Android X constraint layout, widget constraint layout. Okay, this is all the parameters that is passed into the constraint layout. And then here is the actual text view, which is inside the layout, which is actually visible to your user. So in the text view, you can see a layout width, a layout height option, a text option, which will be visible to the user, and then some other parameters that we can actually define in this design pane here. And you don't have to write it, write the code exclusively in this code editor, which you can just design it right here in the design pane. So moving on to the design pane, here you can see the layout designer of your Android app. Okay, so it is a preview. This window is a preview of how your app will actually look. Here you can see the hello world text view. Here is the palette where you can select various components that Android can provide. So a text view, a button it can provide image view, recycler view. Recycler views and other fragmented views are a part of the prior to programming experience track. So it's a bit more advanced. The scroll view, switch actually, and these are the common ones. And if you go in depth, then a plain text, password one, multi-line text, postal address, numbers, all the types of buttons. Then there are widgets, seek bars, progress bars, all the types of layouts, containers, helpers, and the Google's exclusive Google ones. Some legacy ones which are almost deprecated but are used in the legacy Android layouts. So this is the palette, and then coming on to the component tree, constraint layout. Okay, constraint layout. Here you can see actually how your layout is defined. So inside our layout, here is the text view, and as you can see, if I click on this text view, hello world, you can see these lines, these curvy lines, which are beginning from this hello world and going on to the edges of our device. So this is the property of the constraint layout. Here you can actually define the layout properties by clicking any component in the constraint layout. Okay, so if we want to define a property, we can use what is here given, a property editor, I guess, a constraint widget, the widget properties. So here you can see we can define some margin or padding here, and then we can define the constraint properties. We will be covering this in later sessions. So here you can, let's say, give it 16. So as I give it 16, it moves a little bit here and then it jumps back to here. Why it does that? Because it's already constrained from all the sides, 0, 0, 0, 0. So it can't move from any direction because it's constrained in the center of your app, this text view. Okay, this seek bars, the vertical one and the horizontal one, are the vertical bias and horizontal bias, which you can use to position your widget in the screen. See, okay, here you can use these to position your widgets in your app. Okay, now coming to the attributes section here, we can name our attributes. We can provide the ID of our attributes. Let's set it to like text view 1. It's actually good practice to the first letter of the text should be small, and then the subsequent letters should be capital. The declared attributes, we can skip that. The transforms, you can actually apply the transforms to the text view. Transforms means, I will show you here. See, we can rotate any way we want the widget. So as you can see here, it's very, very easy to customize our app any way we want. See, it's actually very easy. Okay, moving on to the common attributes. The text which the user will see, hello world or hello Android, anything. Okay, and the layout editor automatically updates. Here is another text attributes. Here is content description. You can describe what this text view is actually showing. Okay, then the text appearance, font family, typeface, text size. We will be covering this later. Okay, and then we will be moving on to all attributes section the text view can provide. Okay, these are all the attributes the text view can provide, so you can customize any way you want to give your app a more modern feel. Okay. The second one is the split one, where you can actually code and then it can reflect on the layout editor. So you can use the second one also, or you can use only code, or you can use only design. Now, moving on to the project view. Here you can see the files which are currently open and which we are using in our app structure. Okay, so let's first switch on to the project view by clicking here. See, so these are the external libraries that our project is using. Okay, and this is our project, and actually all the files that our project is using. So here we can see all the files that our project is using, and here is the app section. Okay, so if we move on to only Android, then we can see only the files that are useful to us. The first folder is manifests, which contains the Android manifest.xml. The Android manifest.xml does is you can define the properties and the permissions here, like the launcher icon and the first screen that will show when you will open the app, and all the permissions that the app will use, like the internet or your internal storage, okay, or your camera or your dialer. You can define them here. Okay, so as you can see right here, the main activity that is defined here, it will open first when you will open the app. Okay, it will launch first. Android.intent action.main. So this is our main, like you can consider it the main function of the XML. Okay, so this will be called when you will launch the app. Okay, moving on to the Java folder. So inside the Java folder, we have our package name. Okay, and then inside the package name, we have our main file, main activity.kotlin file. Then there is a test folder, the Android test, for testing the apps. It's actually a bit advanced, and these are some predefined files which we will be not looking at today. And the only test, the Android test and the test. And then we have the res folder. The res is short for resources, which our application uses in our app. Sorry, which our application uses to draw all the views. Drawable. In drawable, we can put any images. Okay, any images or any files that are used to express outside the text view, like the image view or any drawable view. So also it contains two files, which are the launcher background, the icons actually, which will be shown for your app. See, this is the background, this is the foreground, the Android face. Okay, now moving on to the layout. In the layout, you will find the actual activity main .xml, and here you can define all the activity design files that your app will be using. Okay, then we have the map folder. Then we have the values folder. Okay, inside the values folder, there this is a predefined colors.xml. Here you can see, if you open it, you can see some predefined colors. There are some purple colors, teal color, black color, white color, and here is the string, and here is your app name, which is predefined as it's already built, your app. Okay, so here you can define, in this value folder, you can define all types of constants. Okay, as you can see, all types of constants, and then use them in your app by calling them. Okay, we will be seeing in later how to use them by calling them. Now on to the themes. Here you can define some actually themes like a light theme, dark theme, or any other themes your app can use. See, one is the default one, and then other one is the night one. Okay, so as you can see the color difference here, the material components that already provide this are right here. Okay, and then last one is a Gradle scripts folder. Okay, this is a very important folder as it contains the actual functional libraries, as you can say, of our app, or you can say the actual settings of our app that we'll be using. The first file is build.gradle, and that is in the project, that's the project build.gradle. Okay, so here is some predefined code here. You can see the Kotlin version here in the build script. Okay, two Google repositories, the Google and JCenter, and then the dependencies on which your app depends. Okay, and then some more code, and then comes your app build.gradle file. Okay, so here you can define some plugins for your app, compile SDK version, the SDK that you are using to compile your app. Okay, so here we are using the latest Android 11, the minimum SDK version, which is set to 23. The target is 30, the latest one. Okay, the version number of our app 1.0 currently, and some more options here. Okay, the Java compatibility versions, that is 1.8, as you can see here. Okay, the Java virtual machine target, it's 1.8 also, it's no problem. And then here comes this is the dependencies section which will be modifying the most. These are the implementations. Here you can implement all the libraries that are already on the web. Okay, so the first here you can see is the Kotlin library, which is used to compile your app, of course. Then the core Android X KTX library, the Kotlin X. Okay, so this is the library that provides all the Kotlin functionality and all the Android functionality, Android X functionality for our app. And then there is this app compact library. The app compact library provides the app compact activity class, which is the starting point of our application. And then there are some more, and here the test implementation, we can ignore this, we can also remove this, and after making any changes, okay, to it will give you a warning. Gradle files have changed since last project sync. A project sync may be necessary for the ID to work properly. So you can click sync now, and it will automatically build it, sync it, and download all the required packages or remove the required packages. So it will be perfect. Okay, so keep in mind it will actually take some time. Okay, so we'll be moving on to actually running this. Okay, so let's first reset the transforms. Okay, I think this is okay, no problem. So we'll be running this. Okay, we'll be running this on an emulator. Here you can see the emulator name, Pixel 4 API 29. You can define all the emulators in AVD manager here. Okay, as you can see, your virtual devices, I have already defined a Pixel 4 virtual device. You can create a virtual device here by clicking here. You can see all the types of virtual devices, Pixel 3, Pixel 4, Nexus. Okay, foldables also are supported now. If you are developing for Android TV, here you go. if you're developing for a watch, Wear OS, here you go, a tablet, or even automotive for cars. Okay, here you can select all these things. If you define an emulator, you can change its properties by clicking this pencil icon here. Okay, portrait landscape, the DPI, what Android version it's running, and there are some more settings. Okay, so let's run our project by clicking the run app, or just by shortcut Shift plus F10. It will start. My Android emulator is starting right inside the Android Studio window. Your will start, I think, in a separate window, and you can change this setting later. Okay. So on the first run, actually, it will take some time. I've already run the emulator multiple times, so it will not take very much time. So it can take some time on some lower end hardware. Okay. First, it will build the app, as you can see here, Gradle build running. Okay. After building it, it will connect to the emulator, and then it will install the app, and then it will run the app. Okay. While it's doing that, okay, so here we go. Pixel 4 is opening. Okay, while it's running the app, let's go into the settings. You can go into file settings. Okay. And let's see the settings. First, appearance and behavior. Appearance, here you can see, you can select the font, you can select the theme. I am using the material theme. Okay, you can select the material theme from the plugins here. Okay, menus, toolbar, system settings, and notifications, and other settings you can modify here. The key map, the editor, you can actually modify the editor, how it actually looks. Okay, and here comes the plugin section. You can install different types of plugins Android Studio already provides. My already installed plugins are the material theme UI, okay, which I'm using here, and it will actually look very beautiful if you download the material theme UI and customize it according to your needs. It will look fantastic. The Flutter plugin, you can develop Flutter apps right into the Android Studio. And some more plugins like Kotlin, of course. Kotlin plugin is already installed. Some more plugins. So these are all the plugins that are required. The version control, you can connect GitHub here. Okay. Build execution deployment. These are some more advanced settings. Languages and frameworks that Android Studio can support. Tools, other settings, and experimental settings. Okay. Okay. Okay, so here you can see notification Gradle build finished in 2 minutes 43 seconds to 55 milliseconds. Okay. Not installing the app. System UI is repolling. Okay. Wait. Success, operation succeeded, and then here you go, the app opens, and you will be greeted with hello Android, and here is the title of your app, and this section here, this purple section here, is called your app bar. Okay, this is the Android notification area, this is the button area, and this is the actual area that your app can take. Okay. Okay. So this section is completed. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment, and we will be starting next section in about 2 minutes. Okay. Okay, so now as the introduction is complete, let's move on to building the first Android app, a meme app. Okay, so here is the basic introduction of creating a first Android app through the Google developers.
Concepts in Kotlin and Android development to get you set up for success.
This unit
Welcome to Unit 1, the beginning of your amazing journey.
In this unit, you will learn important concepts in Kotlin and Android development to get you set up for success.
This unit is split up into 4 pathways.
In the first pathway, we will dive right into learning some basics in a programming language called Kotlin.
Kotlin is a modern programming language. It's efficient to write and has features that help prevent mistakes in your code.
It's rapidly becoming one of the most loved programming languages in the world, and we at Google recommend it for building Android apps.
In the second pathway, we'll help you set up your computer. We will teach you how to use the same tool that professional Android developers use to build their apps. It's called Android Studio, and you'll be installing that on your computer. Once it's set up, we'll walk you through how to create and run your first Android app. This is always a magical milestone.
In the third pathway, we'll make a birthday card app. You'll get to customize the app for someone special in your life and surprise them with it.
In the fourth pathway, we'll learn how to make an app that has an on-screen button that can be clicked. You'll write Kotlin code for how the app will behave when the user taps the button.
This will unlock infinite possibilities for the types of apps you can create.
Don't worry, we know it's a lot, but we'll be guiding you through the pathways, and we're confident that you can do this.
It's normal to feel overwhelmed with all this new information, so take it bit by bit. It takes time to learn and digest the material.
With each app you create, you will gain more confidence in the skills you are building.
Before we begin, let's double check that you have everything you'll need. You'll need a computer with internet access that you can install Android Studio on. Make sure that your computer meets the requirements linked below.
To see your app in action, it's helpful to have an Android device and a USB cable to connect it to your computer, but it's definitely not required.
Let's get started!
Here's a basic birthday app.
The first step in creating an app is to have an amazing idea.
Amazing idea. Let's create an app that celebrates my favorite holiday of the year, my birthday.
Okay! Now before we can go and build an app, we need to know what goes into it.
Just like when you cook a meal, you need to think about ingredients and how you want to put them all together.
In this video, we'll talk about what makes a great app and plan for what will go into our app.
You'll sketch out your own awesome birthday card app, which you'll build by the end of this pathway.
So how do we get started?
Before we start drawing up this fabulous birthday card app, let's take a step back and think about what makes a great app. Think about an app you really love using. What about it you love?
Well, it's probably really effective. It's really clear about what you need to do. The app is also likely to be efficient. There aren't any unnecessary steps in getting from what you want to accomplish to having it done. I bet your favorite app is beautiful. This is subjective, but to me, that means that the app has a simple and organized layout. And the app is probably also accessible. It's designed in a way that makes it easy for you to use.
So there you have it. That's the ultimate goal. The ride into the sunset.
Before you worry about your app being effective, efficient, beautiful, and accessible, you have to decide what job needs to be accomplished. You don't need any programming for this part. Take a moment and think about a birthday card you received. What was cool about it?
They're silly. They're interactive. They have fun pictures. They sing songs.
Feel free to pause this video and write down your own ideas. Don't worry, we'll still be here.
Okay, so what do you think is important to add into your birthday card app? Honestly, I can't tell you what you think is special. However, there are some common things that all birthday cards have in common.
A happy birthday message,
A greeting with the name of the person.
maybe their age.
And you want to tell them who the card is from and sign it with your name.
So with that in mind, here's the birthday card app that we'll be building together in this pathway.
It has a large image and text laid out on the screen.
Think about how you can customize this for someone in your life.
What image would you use? What message would you write?
Sketch your app out. Draw out different ideas on how your card might look.
Get creative and use your imagination.
Okay. So now let's quickly move on to the main app. Okay, so let's create our first meme app. Okay, so let's create a new project. We'll be creating with a empty activity. Okay, let's name it. Let's say my meme app. Okay, my meme app. Package name is of no problem. Index type Kotlin language, Android 6 unchecked. Okay, and then click finish. Then a basic structure will open. We will let it open. It will take some time. It always takes some time with Android Studio. Okay. So here we are. So this app is not very functional. Okay, it's just displays basic, image and then text views on top of the image. So we will not be touching this Kotlin file as much. We'll be working on the activity main.xml. Okay, we'll be designing our app on this activity main.xml. Gradle sync finished. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's zoom in a bit. The default is hello world. Okay, so let's remove it by clicking delete. Here is our canvas. You can actually modify here what the canvas can view. You can rotate also here how it will look in landscape view or portrait view. Okay, UI mode, car dock, desk dock, television, night mode, if it's night mode or not night. Okay, so these are some settings. From clicking this icon here, you can show all constraints of the layout. Okay, there are no constraints, so it's not showing here. Live rendering, so show system UI. Okay, so see, here is the actual workspace, as you can see in the blueprint. Okay, so we will disable the system UI to our full view. Okay, so let's add our meme template. Okay, so drag an image view into here. So as you drag here the image view into our canvas, a new window opens of a resource, picking a resource. Okay, sample data is a background, avatars. Okay, so here we will go ahead and click here the add resource to the module. Okay, and we will click drawable resource file. Now by clicking the drawable resource file, here the file name, we can select the file here. So we can say here meme template. Okay, meme templates, source set selected. This is all default. Directory name drawable. Okay, and yeah, T is not a valid file-based resource. Name character file-based. Okay, A to Z, 3 to 9 or underscore. Oh, okay, not capital, only small. Okay, so here's the drawable. we can right click here to show the option. Explorer, it will open the file in Explorer. See the XML document here. Okay, the file is already opened. See meme template.xml. So now we will go okay. So let's add our first meme template. Okay, so you want to drag an image view from this palettes and into the canvas here. Okay, a new window opens, and here you can see a background. Okay, here's the value. Wait a second. See here. Okay, here's the reference. Here's the value. Here's the name. So we will create a new with import drawables. Okay, by clicking the import drawables, we can import any image we can actually want. So let's import an image. Okay, here we go. So here is our meme image. Qualifier type, nothing. Okay, select nothing. Value, we will select nothing. We'll click next. See, here it is. Okay, so we will just click import here. No changes. Then we will select it here and then click OK. So see here, the reference is already at drawable / meme1. Okay, here we go. So it already the Android Studio already matches the resolution of your device with the image. See, the image resolution is somewhat different with the device, but it automatically matches the resolution, so you don't have to care about it. And if you care, you can just see here, you can adjust the image properties from here. No, actually these are the constraint ones. Okay, these are the constraint handles, as we can see here. Okay, so let's see, if we move this image onto the center, see there are no constraints here. The constraint widget is just empty, no constraints. So what we have to do is click here and drag the constraint handle. See it moves, okay, to the top of the screen. See the constraint here. Okay, now we have to do this to here also. Okay, and left also. Okay, see now there is no margin between the screen and the image. Okay, so now it's an empty meme template, and we have to define a text view that will be written here. Okay, so who doesn't like a meme? So image view, as we can see here, it's a warning icon here. So let's see the warning. Missing content description attribute on image. See, it defines the content description attribute, defines what the image is about. So who meme. Okay, and enter, it sets the content description. Okay, Now let's drag a text view onto our canvas. See, a text view is created now here. Now we will define the text view by typing the text we have to write here. Okay, so let's define it. I have already saved it in a what's the file here. So let's copy it and let's rename our text view. Okay, see, now it's not much visible. Okay, we have to enlarge it and we have to set it more to match the dimensions of the image. So what you want to do here is you can use the scale attributes here, scale X, scale Y. Okay, or you can do what is you can actually increase the font size. Okay, and change the font family. So you can go into the text appearance here and you can select the text size from here. Okay, the default is 14 SP. Okay, you can select any size you want. Let's say we will select 30 SP. Move it right here. See, it automatically moves. Okay, or let's give it a little 24. Yeah, using other IDEs. And then there are more attributes like text style, bold. Yeah, bold is good. Okay, now you can select a font family also here for the text view. See, sans serif or any other, or you can select a new font family by clicking this type of shape or icon here. What it does is opens up a window from which you can create a font resource file or click on more fonts. Okay, you can click on more fonts and search the Google fonts which are already provided by the Google. So if we select search for Open Sans, see, we can import the Open Sans regular font, create a downloadable font, or add font to the project. Okay, so we will select the add font to the project option here. Okay, and click OK, and then we will select this, or I think it's already selected, and then click OK. See, the font changes. The font is now Open Sans. See here now. Now we will do what is create another text view by dragging it, and let's just do it for every section of the meme. Okay, now we have to provide the same properties, okay, which we have provided here, the same properties to this text view, to this one, and the remaining text views. Okay, so now what you can do is you can do what is you can extract the settings of this specific text view to your resources folder. Okay, to the values folder actually, and then you can call them into the other text views. So you don't have to define for more than 2 or 3 text views. You can just change one string file example here, and then it will automatically gets changed in all the text views. Okay, so let me show you how to do it. So see here, here's the string resource. Okay, the name is app name my meme app. Okay, open the file, create a new string resource. The auto completes already completes it. What's the name? Let's say text view. Let's say text view. I think font size. Okay. Then we close it, and it automatically closes. And what is the font size we have selected here? I think it's 24 SP. Okay. (24 SP), and then we will import it for this text view. See how? We will select this text view, come here, text size, and then add. Okay, see add, then Android. I think it's in the dimensions file. Wait a second. It's not in the value strings and dimensions. Yeah. You have to make a separate file for the dimensions. Okay, so go into the values folder, click right click, then go into new, then value resources file. Okay, what is the file name? Let's say let's give it like text appearance. Okay, main res, and it will create a new one. Okay, then we will copy it here. Okay. Okay, then now we will import it. You can import it by just add. Okay, or you can do it by clicking here and then import it by clicking the plus here, dimension resources file. Dimension value, yeah, you can also select the dimension value. Okay, so resource name, text appearance, or wait a second, I have to do it. Yeah, let's do it from scratch. Okay, wait a second. Okay, let's delete it. Strings, no problem. Okay, so what you need to do for setting the text size is come here, click this, and then in the pick a resource, you have to you can create a new resource file, or you can create a dimension value. Okay, so let's create a dimension value. So we can text font size, we can name here it as text font size, and the resource value should be 24 SP. Okay, file name dimensions.xml, and it will automatically generate the files for you. See, DIMENS. Then okay, here we go. See, it does this automatically, and here you can see it's add diamond text font size. So we can come back here, and we can also set it here, add diamond, and see here it's already given text font size. Now we can do this for themes also. So here is the add font open sans font family. We can click that next text view, open sans, it's already here. Okay. Then we can modify the text. using Android Studio. Okay, we are not constrained. This is not a constraint layout. Sorry, constraint widget. So you have to adjust it according to the size of the screen. So that's why these errors are right here. Okay, Android Studio will already show it when the errors are there in the application or your design. Okay, so let's make this also bold using Android Studio. Then text size, add text font size. Okay, add text font size, font family, font open sans. Then the text view. Let's make it bold. It's not fitting here. Okay, it's not fitting in the on our screen. So actually we can reduce the size of this text view to like I don't know what is 18 SP, I guess. Yeah, 18 SP should do it. Okay. Then the other one, it has code templates and sample apps. Okay. Then the font and I guess we can select as 16 SP for this. 16 SP is still big. We'll be seeing about text wrapping. Okay, so what text wrapping it does is it will create multi-line text. Okay, see here, when you come in the text, see here is a multi-line text. We can use them here. Okay, so for the sake of this only we are using. No, it's not very visible, but we can adjust them. Okay, let's set it to bold. Text is there, content description. Okay, another text view, open sans. You have to do it for every other text view. Okay, you have to set settings for every text view you are making. SP is good. Yeah, it is. And then the last one, the layout editor and APK analyzer, which is two very helpful features. Font open sans, text size is I guess okay. Oh, yeah. Okay, so here are all the text views and the background image. Okay, so now let's fix all the warnings, all the errors. Okay, coming on to the image view, what it's showing, hard-coded string poo meme should use add string resource. So this is not a good practice to hard code a string directly onto a widget. Okay, so see here, content description poo meme. Okay, we can extract it also. So we can do what is go to code See here, the Android Studio has already generated a lot of code in the XML files for us. So what you want to do is, press Alt plus Enter. Okay, Alt plus Enter does is it opens a box which shows extract string resource or provide feedback for this warning. So we can click extract string resource name meme, resource value meme. So we can name it like image des not underscore description. Okay, image description values. Okay, and it generates another resource C in the string by the name of image description and by the value of meme. Okay, so now moving on to another error. What is this? Okay, missing constraints and constraint layout. Okay, this view is not constrained, it only has design time position, so it will jump to 0, 0 at runtime unless you add the constraints. So actually what Android Studio is saying here, that as we are seeing the layout here, it will not show when we run our app. Okay, so wait a second, let me run the app and show you what exactly it's telling. Okay, let's close this window, let's run our app. See, the error is already there. App error, not well formed, invalid token. Okay. So we have to select the proper constraints for every text view here. Okay, we have already set the constraints for the image view. See here, the background image, but not for the text view. So you can just constrain it to the top of the screen, or you can constrain it to the background image. So we will constrain it to the top of the screen, and then constrain the other bottom one to the top of this next text view. See the curved lines here between the text views. This is called a constraint. Okay, then we can constrain this side to here, and then this side to here. When setting all the constraints, all four, it will by default automatically jump to the center. So what we want to do here is just adjust these horizontal bias and vertical bias and play around with it, so it is properly positioned. Okay, I think it looks good. Okay, now on to the next. Here, and this one to here, and the top one to, wait a second, this one is constrained to here, right? And this one to, okay, yeah, so we should make a constraint to here. Yeah, okay. Bottom navigation top. So let's move the constraint we can set it, I think, directly. Okay, wait. First, we have to delete all the top and bottom constraints. It comes here. The bottom one is still left empty. Okay. So what we want to do here is set the bottom constraint to here. And then actually position it. Actually, yeah, you can set like this. Set the bottom and the top one and the rest of the constraints. Let's set this also. Okay, so yeah, now apparently what you want to do is okay, when setting the left and right constraint on every text view, you just want to set the upper constraint to the top of the screen and the bottom constraint to the bottom of the screen. Okay. Yeah, right here. And then you can adjust by moving it around. It will automatically adjust the values of the vertical and horizontal bias here. Okay. You have to do it for every text view. This is all becomes easy. This all becomes easy in the next sessions when you use chained constraints. Chained constraints, we'll be talking about chained constraints and organizing constraints in later sessions. Yeah. Mhm. Last one and right here. Okay. So we have set our meme layout perfectly. Now let's run the app and see how it performs. Now before running the app, see the warnings here: hard-coded string, hard-coded string. So you can also ignore these warnings as we are not, building a very proper app. So let's run these and let's see how it shows in our actual emulator device. Okay, so one more error. App error where not performed. Activity main.xml 101. Okay. Activity main.xml 101. Where? Okay. Oh, here we are saying and we cannot use and is like a separate keyword for referencing. So we have to modify it. Let's just say and. Okay. Will be more easy. Or actually, or we can use escape sequence, I guess. No. Okay. And design, let's see. Yeah, it's okay, cool. Let's run this again. It will be a tad bit slow, but it will eventually compile, of course. The Gradle builds are very, very intensive. Now it's installing, it's launching. Success. Okay, here you go. So as you can see, also the image is not actually fit perfectly. As you can see, a gap here. We can adjust it in this, constraints itself. So yeah, it's pretty much it. We will be talking about layouts, and we'll be adding the text views, and you will be inputting from the user, and by taking user inputs through the text views actually in this app. We'll be also using random memes by creating a random button, and we'll be prettifying this app so it looks beautiful in the upcoming sessions of layouts. Okay, so this was the basics of Android. Yeah, if you have any questions, ask them in the YouTube live comments, and let us see what we can answer. Okay. Okay, let's end this session with a Q&A. Devansh, you are up. Can you switch on the Skype mic? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think yes. Uh, I'm also just starting to build apps with Kotlin. Previously, I am working with Flutter, so yeah, it's a bit more advanced, but it's easy to learn. And now the Google developers are self releasing the tutorials, which are very easy to follow, and yeah, it's been pretty much easier. Thank you.